everybody. It's Angie Rupert, founder of Rupert Law Group. We handle exclusively E2 and E1 visas, so no matter what treaty country you're from or in what state you want to be, we can help. Before we start today, I'd like to take just a second to ask you to please subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notifications about our new videos. Hopefully you find them very useful. And of course, if you do, please feel free to share with a friend or family member who would also be interested in coming to the U.S. on an E2 or an E1 visa. So with that housekeeping out of the way, let's talk about the subject at hand, which is getting an E2 visa in the food and beverage area, or with a food and beverage business. So there are so many options within this area, right? Restaurants, food trucks, coffee shops, even convenience stores in some instances, depending on the type of food that you're going to be serving. So all interesting and valid options. We've helped with all of those categories that we just mentioned. So yes, you can get an E2 visa with any of those businesses. But let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons of the food and beverage business, okay? And some of the tips that we have for people who are interested in food and beverage businesses. So number one, if food and beverage is your passion, you should do a food and beverage business for sure. They can be amazing. Obviously, the United States is known for all types of cuisine. People like all types of food. And if you have a specialty, you have experience, and you are super excited about opening some sort of food and beverage business in the United States, you should definitely do it. However, if you are thinking, I really want the E2, and I'm not sure what business, maybe a restaurant, I'm not sure that the food and beverage business is for you for the following reasons. So keep in mind that with an E2 visa, the consulate, the government, expects you to basically have the business essentially operational at the time of application. Okay, so if you're starting a restaurant or starting some sort of food and beverage business, sometimes that can have a very long lead time, right? If you are doing any sort of construction and remodeling, it will take some time. All of that needs to be done first, okay? Also, getting permits, depending on the state, depending on the city, permits through either the health and safety boards or liquor licenses can take some time. In certain states, liquor licenses are very difficult for people who are not citizens and or residing currently in the United States. So please keep that in mind. A liquor license is not given away in the United States, okay? There's a process. Every state is different, and in some cases, it varies county to county. So that really is something to consider. Also, as we discussed, right, the permits for any sort of construction and that type of thing, particularly within food and beverage, can take some time, can be somewhat expensive. So keep those things in mind. All right. So that's something that I always tell people. It may take a little longer and it may take more money than what you were initially planning on investing. However, like I said, if the food and beverage industry is really where your heart lies, do it. Absolutely. It is 100% doable. If you are really interested in food and beverage, but you are concerned a little bit about the timing or the money, consider a food truck. These have a lot less in the way of construction. They have slightly easier permits to get depending on where, of course, you want to start this food truck. And also, obviously, your hiring requirements are going to be a lot less. Okay, so we've helped people with food trucks as well. It's a very doable business, and it might be something to consider if you really are interested in food and beverage, but are a little bit concerned about the lead time and or the investment that it costs to get an actual restaurant, a location up and running. Another thing you may want to consider is buying an existing restaurant, okay? Again, this may be a little more expensive up front, but it's definitely going to be a lot faster as to time, right? Because you're going to just have to move the permits over to the new name. Now, in the world of liquor licenses, this could be an issue still. Even if the restaurant has a liquor license, if you are not a citizen or green card holder and you are not currently residing in the United States, there could be some touches there. That's something to consider. Again, that's going to really depend on the state and sometimes even the county as far as the liquor licenses go. But for an existing business. That will eliminate all of your construction, right? And it will eliminate a lot of that lead time. However, it may be a little more expensive. Operational restaurants that are successful and are doing well sometimes are a little bit more on the expensive side, but it will definitely cut down a lot as far as your lead time goes. So those are some things to consider when dealing with a restaurant. So number one, if food and beverage is what you are passionate about, you should definitely do it. Consider buying an existing restaurant or food and beverage business, or consider a food truck. In addition, some things to think about. Starting a brand new restaurant will take a little more time and a little more money than some other businesses. And something else, if you are simply considering different businesses for the E2 visa and you don't really know what to do and a restaurant kind of slipped in there, I would say this is one to pass on. Restaurants can be amazing, but they are difficult businesses to run. As you who run businesses in other countries know, it takes a lot of know-how and skill to successfully run a restaurant. And like mentioned, sometimes they are a little bit more expensive or take a little bit more lead time than some other types of businesses. That said, I do not want to discourage anyone. If food and beverage is your passion, do the restaurant 100%. We've helped people start new restaurants, buy existing restaurants, start food trucks, and other stuff in the world of food and beverage. And we would be thrilled to help you with your food and beverage business in the world of E2 visas.